You ever wondered why your words, no matter how intelligent or passionate, seem to vanish into the air? Why you can speak, and yet not be truly heard? It's because you've been taught to communicate from the wrong place entirely. You have been trained to speak from the mind, the part of you that can only observe, analyze, and report on a reality that already exists. But the mind is not the source. It is only a mirror for the shadows. Today, you will learn to speak from the place where reality is born. You will stop describing the world and start decreeing it. We are not here to learn new words, but to awaken an ancient power that sleeps within your own voice, a power that comes from the silent, knowing center of your being, the I Am. Stay with me on this journey, because by the end, the world won't just listen to what you say. It will be compelled to rearrange itself to match the new reality you have spoken. Forget everything you think you know about your voice. It is not a mere tool for communication. It is a testament. It's the audible form of your current state of consciousness, the vibration of your inner world made manifest. Before a single word is processed by the logical mind, the listener's soul has already felt the truth of who you believe yourself to be. This is not about your education, your background, or the facts you present. It is about the frequency you broadcast. This frequency, this inner conviction, is the operant power that commands attention or invites dismissal. Within the first 3 seconds of hearing you speak, a selection is made. They are not judging your intelligence. They are responding to the resonance of your I Am. Their consciousness is either drawn to the certainty in yours, or it recoils from the static of your doubt. This is the first and most fundamental law of influence, an immediate and irreversible verdict delivered from one inner world to another. You are a broadcasting station of consciousness, and so the world makes its selection. Credibility is not something you earn through argument. It is a state you simply assume. In this age of instant information, the human spirit makes its decisions even faster. It seeks clarity, it seeks conviction, it seeks a signal it can trust. Your opening words are not an introduction, they are a prophecy. They declare the state of awareness from which you are operating. Do you speak from a state of knowing or a state of hoping? The feeling is the key. People do not believe your words. They believe the feeling that your words evoke within them. They are unconsciously asking, does this person occupy the reality they speak of? If the feeling is one of unwavering certainty, their inner world will rearrange itself to match yours. You are not convincing them of a fact. You are inviting them to enter the state you have already assumed. This is the secret to being heard above the noise of a world desperate for truth. You already are credible, but that's only the surface. True clarity of speech is not born from a sharp intellect, but from a focused imagination. The structure you present in your words is merely a reflection of the structure you hold within your inner world. This is a trainable skill, an operant power you can cultivate until it becomes second nature. When your assumption is held without wavering, your words will follow in a perfect, logical, and irresistible sequence. The impression of intelligence is not an act. It is the natural byproduct of an organized consciousness. That instant feeling of trust a listener gets? It's their soul recognizing the undeniable order in yours. They sense that you are not searching for words, but that the words are flowing from a wellspring of deep inner knowing. This is why a person speaking from a place of absolute conviction can command a room, even with the simplest of words. They have mastered their inner state, and the outer world of speech simply conforms. This creates your vocal signature. Every state of being, confidence, doubt, abundance, lack, has a unique frequency. Your voice is the carrier wave for this frequency. It is the signature of your soul, written in the air for all to perceive. This signature is a key. It either unlocks the doors of opportunity, influence, and connection, or it locks you into the repeating patterns of your current reality. To speak intelligently is to consciously select the frequency of your desired outcome. It has nothing to do with being the loudest person in the room. It's about being the most resonant. It's about aligning your inner speech and your outer speech until they are one and the same. When you decide, from the core of your being, that you already are the person you wish to be, your voice will carry the authority of that new state. Doors you never knew existed will open, not because you pushed them, but because your very vibration became the key. Here's what changes everything. You are not just a speaker. You are a guide, an architect of awareness. You are leading the listener's consciousness on a journey from one point of understanding to another. Your structure is the bridge you build for their imagination. Your conviction is the light that illuminates the path. And the pause. Oh, the sacred, intentional pause. That is the space where the seed of an idea is planted. It's the moment of stillness where an assumption is allowed to crystallize into a feeling, and that feeling hardens into a fact within their inner world. You are not just conveying information, you are transmitting a state. You are using words, tones, and silences to help them feel what you feel, to know what you know, to arrive at the conclusion you have prepared for them. This is the art of speaking, not to the ears, but directly to the imagination. This is the foundation of true power. Now go deeper. You're not speaking to a person's brain. You are speaking to their consciousness. Trust is not a logical conclusion. It is a spiritual surrender. The human soul does not respond to the volume of your voice, but to its rhythm and coherence. Consciousness itself is rhythmic, a great cosmic pulse, and when your words align with this natural cadence, the listener's inner world has no choice but to harmonize with yours. It's a deep, primal recognition. Emotionally resonant words are not just words, they are keys. They are frequencies that unlock corresponding states within the listener. When you speak of victory, you must feel it first. The feeling is the operant power that charges the word. The listener's consciousness isn't analyzing your sentence structure. It's absorbing the state from which you speak. This is why a simple truth spoken with deep conviction can shatter a complex lie spoken with none. That feeling of pleasure, of rightness, that rises in them as they listen to you. Scientists would call it a chemical release. But the mystic knows it is a spiritual echo. It is the soul's recognition of a higher, more ordered reality. When you speak from a place of coherent purpose, from a state of unwavering assumption, you are offering their consciousness a sanctuary from its own chaos. You are creating a bubble of certainty in an ocean of doubt. The pleasure they feel is the profound relief of their inner being aligning with this truth. They perceive you as intelligent and trustworthy, not because of your vocabulary, but because you are a master of your inner world. You have demonstrated the ultimate power, the power to hold a single clear vision and broadcast it into existence. This is the source of all charisma, all influence, all power to move the hearts of men and women. You offer them clarity, and they offer you their attention. Your speech must become an irresistible current. Its rhythm is the steady, powerful heartbeat of your assumption. Its intonation is the color, the light, and shadow of the state you are embodying. But the secret, the real operant power, lies in the silence between your words. The pause is not an absence of sound. It is the womb of creation. It is a moment of profound gravity where you command the listener's imagination to stop, to receive, and to gestate the idea you have just presented. When you make a powerful statement and then hold the silence, you are not waiting for them to catch up. You are giving their inner world the sacred space it needs to build the reality you have described. You are letting the feeling sink from their mind into their very bones. Strategic silence is the ultimate display of confidence. It says, "This truth is so powerful it needs no immediate follow-up. Let it take root." And your tone is not a tool you use to show emotion. Your tone is the emotion, given voice. It is the direct, unfiltered transmission of the state you have assumed. You cannot fake this. The consciousness of the listener will detect the subtle dissonance immediately. To shape their reaction, you must first become the reaction you desire. Before you speak of peace, you must inhabit a state of absolute tranquility. Your vocal cords will simply obey the feeling that saturates your being. When you emphasize a word, it is not a performance. It is your consciousness pointing and saying, "Here, this is the anchor. This is the pillar upon which this new reality rests." You are guiding their attention, focusing their immense imaginative power on the cornerstone of the state you are building for them. Your tone is the very climate of the inner world you are inviting them into. This is why true masters of influence speak with a deliberate cadence. Why would you rush if the reality you speak of is already a solid fact in your inner world? Haste betrays a fear that the vision will dissolve, a lack of faith in your own assumption. But a slightly slower pace, pregnant with intentional intonation and timely pauses, is the sound of absolute certainty. The rhythm of a creator who is not trying to convince, but is simply describing what they already see. This cadence makes you appear more intelligent and trustworthy, not because it's a trick, but because it is the natural pace of someone who trusts their own operant power. You are not racing to a finish line. You are calmly, powerfully, and methodically replacing their old world with a new one carefully chosen, deeply felt word at a time. This is not persuasion. This is revelation. And here is a truth that the intellect will fight, but your soul already knows. Brilliance is not complexity. It is simplicity, born of absolute certainty. The ego, in its insecurity, weaves tangled webs of elaborate words, hoping to impress, hoping to sound intelligent. It is a sign of an unmastered inner world. But the I am, the consciousness that simply knows, speaks in truths that are as clear and direct as sunlight. The need for complexity is an admission that you don't yet fully understand the state you are trying to convey. When your imagination holds a vision in perfect crystalline focus, the words that flow from you will be pure, simple, and devastatingly effective. You will stop trying to decorate your ideas and instead present them in their naked power. Because when you truly know a thing, you can speak it plainly. The greatest power lies not in addition, but in distillation. With every word you speak, you are either building a bridge or erecting a wall. There is no middle ground. Simple language, charged with genuine feeling, is the golden material from which you build a bridge directly into the listener's inner world. It is an invitation. It says, the state I occupy is safe. Come, experience it for yourself. It creates an immediate sense of shared understanding, a resonance between two centers of consciousness. But complex, academic, and emotionally, sterile language builds a wall. It is the language of separation. It creates a dynamic of speaker and audience, of knower and ignorant, of performer and judge. It may impress the ego, but it repels the soul. Simplicity requires courage. It requires you to trust that the truth of your feeling is enough, without the armor of jargon. It is the choice to connect, not to conquer. The universe does not respond to the length of your words, but to the depth of your feeling. The most powerful declarations are the most concise. I am. It is done. You already are. These are not arguments. They are atoms of reality. They are compact vessels of immense creative power. The goal of your communication is never to win an academic debate. An argument is a battle of egos, and even if you win, you have created resistance. The true aim is connection, a communion of states. You are not trying to change their mind. You are trying to ignite a feeling within them that they recognize as their own. You are seeking to initiate a resonance that makes your assumption their assumption. Short, clear, powerful words are the sparks that light this fire. They bypass the analytical guard of the mind and strike directly at the heart of the imagination. Creation itself has a structure, a divine sequence. Your communication, to be truly creative, must mirror this flow. Every powerful message you deliver is a ritual of manifestation in 3 parts. First, the beginning, where you plant the seed, the core assumption you wish to establish. Second, the middle, where you water that seed with feeling, with imagery, with story, allowing it to grow and take root in their imagination. Third, the end, where you reveal the inevitable harvest, the conclusion that now feels like a natural, undeniable truth. You are not just organizing a speech, you are performing a creative rite. You are guiding their consciousness through the very stages of creation. This sacred structure is why your message becomes memorable. Their soul recognizes the divine pattern of how worlds are born and is compelled to follow. And those techniques you may have learned, the rule of 3, the use of signposts, these are not mere tricks of rhetoric. They are the shadows of deep mystical laws. The rule of 3 is a faint echo of the creative trinity. thought, feeling, and manifestation. When you say, "Let me explain," you are not just being polite. You are issuing a gentle but firm command to the listener's consciousness. Be still now, prepare to receive. A new understanding is at hand. And storytelling. Oh, storytelling is the highest magic of all. A story is the vessel you build for their consciousness to travel into a new reality. It allows them to wear a new state, to feel a new set of assumptions as their own, if only for a moment. And a moment is all it takes for a seed of a new possibility to be planted forever. You are not just telling a tale. You are conducting a guided meditation into a world of your selection. Let go of the poisonous illusion that some are born with confidence and others are not. Confidence is not a trait, it is a state. It is the fragrance of a consciousness that has practiced assuming a reality of certainty so often that it now feels like home. You do not develop it by facing your fears in the outer world. That is the warrior's way, the way of struggle. The dear mystic's way is to select a new state of being entirely, a state in which the fear simply does not exist. You go into your imagination, the only true creative power, and you occupy the feeling of the man or woman who has already succeeded. You walk as them, speak as them, feel as them within your inner world. The act of speaking up in the physical world is then not an act of courage. It is the natural, unavoidable echo of a victory that has already been won. Your body is a living sculpture, molded from the inside out by your dominant assumption. That is why faking body language never works for long. Your posture is not a pose you strike. It is the physical expression of your inner state. Your eye contact is not a technique. It is the light of your focused imagination shining out into the world, and the tone of your voice. When you lower it at the end of a sentence, it is not a trick to sound authoritative. It is the audible seal on a declaration. It is the sound of "it is done." You are not asking for agreement or validation. You are simply stating what is. Your physical presence becomes a powerful, silent testament to the reality you have chosen to inhabit. Your body does not lie. It is a faithful servant to your consciousness, and it will always betray or confirm the state you have assumed. Now listen, those filler words you use, the ums, the ahs, the likes, they are more than just bad habits. They are leaks of power. They are the sound of a consciousness searching for its reality outside of itself, asking for permission to continue. Each one is a small tear in the fabric of your assumption, through which your creative energy escapes. But silence. Strategic silence is the opposite. It is the sound of containment. It is the sound of a consciousness that is its own source, its own authority. When you pause, you are not losing control. You are demonstrating absolute mastery over your own inner world. You are so comfortable in the state you have selected that you do not need to fill the space with noise. You are showing them that you are the master of the space between worlds, the silent, fertile void from which all creation springs. You do not build confidence through outer action. You build it through inner occupation. The process you have been taught is inverted. You have been told to practice in the world until you feel confident. I am telling you to feel confident in your imagination until the world becomes your practice stage. This is not mere visualization. That is a pale imitation. This is the act of creation itself. You enter the state of the desired outcome. You feel the applause. You accept the congratulations. You live the entire scene in first person, present tense, until it feels more real than your current problems. The small actions you then take in the world are not terrifying steps into the unknown. They are the natural, effortless movements of someone who is simply allowing an already finished reality to unfold. You are not rehearsing for a future success. You are living its memory in advance. And this is the foundation of it all. True confidence is not belief in your personality, your skills, or your history. It is unwavering faith in the operant power of your own consciousness. It is knowing that your I am is the one and only reality. Authenticity, then, is not about being flawed and human. It is about achieving a perfect alignment between your chosen inner state and your outer expression. You speak and act from the truth of your assumption, even if the world of shadows has not yet caught up. This is a power far beyond polished perfection, which is an ego-driven trap. The authentic power is in speaking from the state you have embodied. When you do this, your words carry the irresistible force of truth, because they are flowing from the only reality that has ever mattered, the one within you. You already are confident. You must simply assume it. But all this power of outward expression, is built upon a silent and sacred foundation, the art of true listening. This is not the passive act of hearing words with your ears. It is the active, conscious state of stilling your own inner world completely in order to perceive another's. For a moment, you cease your own inner chatter, your own assumptions, your own desire to respond, and you create a space of pure awareness. This is the highest form of respect, for you are not merely honoring their personality, you are recognizing the I am within them. When a person feels their consciousness being held in this way, without judgment, they feel seen at a level they have rarely experienced. Trust is the natural and immediate result. Not just hearing their story, you are witnessing their state. From this silent presence, your response becomes something more than a reply. It becomes a revelation. Because you have listened to the feeling behind their words, you can now speak directly to their state. Most conversations are merely two people reacting to each other's conditioned programming. But a conversation born of true listening is a communion. Your response is not an impulsive reaction from your old patterns, but a thoughtful offering from the state of wisdom you have chosen to occupy. You are no longer just a participant in a dialogue. You become a physician of the soul. You hear the cry for a new state beneath their complaint about the old one. And you can offer them the key, a new perspective, a different assumption, that speaks directly to their deepest need. Therefore, you must excommunicate the language of the victim from your consciousness. Purge the weak phrases that are nothing more than unconscious prayers for limitation. Every time you say, "I just think that," or "This might sound silly," but you are performing an incantation of self-doubt. You are apologizing for the existence of your own awareness. These are the words of a consciousness that has forgotten it is the operant power in its own universe. Strong, direct language is not a sign of aggression. It is the natural dialect of the I am. It is the sound of an assumption made firm, of a reality decreed. You must be as vigilant with your words as a guard at the gate of a holy city, for every word you utter is a seed, and your inner world is the fertile ground in which it will grow. And this leads to the ultimate authenticity. It is not found in sharing tales of your past struggles. It is found in speaking with absolute conviction from the state you are inhabiting now. The only true self is the I am, the formless awareness that chooses its states. When you have assumed a state in your imagination, the state of wealth, of health, of love, and you have lived in it and felt its reality, speaking from that feeling is your highest truth. It is more real than any fact from your past. This creates a connection that is electric, because the listener's consciousness recognizes the vibration of a reality that has been fully realized within. You are not sharing a memory. You are transmitting a living, breathing experience from the only place where creation happens, your imagination. And this brings us to the final key. True influence is never an act of force. It is an act of invitation. You cannot change another person. You can only embody a state so completely, so joyfully, so compellingly, that they are inspired to select that state for themselves. Your goal is not to impress them with your power, but to awaken them to their own. You are not seeking converts to your way of thinking. You are planting seeds of new possibilities in the garden of their awareness. By listening with presence and speaking from an assumed state, you create a connection, a dialogue between two divine centers of awareness. You offer them a doorway to a new reality, and you honor their ultimate power to choose whether or to walk through it. This is influence. This is love. This is the work of a master. You no longer speak to the world. You speak as the world you have chosen. Your voice is not an echo of your circumstances. It is the genesis of your reality. So, from what state will your next words be spoken? What truth, long dormant within you, are you now ready to declare? Let that be your first act of power. Declare it in the comments below. Write your I am assumption and give it form. Subscribe to this channel and activate your notifications to continue this journey of remembrance. And if this has awakened something inside you, the journey has just begun. The next video reveals the silent power that gives your words their force. Click it now, and let's go deeper.